Hello again, and welcome back to Chapter 4 of our Basic Elementary course, courtesy of Ars Academic. The title of this chapter is A Caribbean Cruise. So without wasting any further time, let's take a look at our next slide. Okay, so with our next slide, it's A, and the theme is vocabulary, and we are asked to take a look at the different types of vacations that we have within column 1, and it tells us to match it with the places that we can go to and have these types of vacations with in the second slide. So let's take a look here. Vacation types. I'm firstly going to read them out to you, and I'm also going to read the places out to you. You can then pause the video, read through it on your own, and try and get your pronunciation right as well if you want to. And then I want you to also try and match which one goes with which. And then after you are done, we will resume. And yes, we will check your answers if they are correct. So let's start reading. Vacation type. Number 1 is skiing and winter sports. Number 2 is diving and water sports. Number 3 is sightseeing and cultural visits. So sounds exciting so far. If you are for skiing during the winter, if you like diving and any other sort of water sports, and sightseeing, seeing all the different sights and visiting cultural places. A beach vacation, just resting in the sand, maybe swimming a little and soaking up the hot sun. Then we have an ocean cruise, which sounds fun, especially if you love the ocean, and there's so many different types of things that they have on these types of cruises. The next one is a safari, so going to jungles, being around animals, if that's your kind of thing, safari. Historical tours, so basically going to places that have historical value and learning about them. Walking and hiking, these are for the fitness fanatics. If you like cardio, this is perfect for you. Weekend city break, so working all week, you've got the weekend, and where can you take this perfect break? Okay, now we're going to move on to the places. Caribbean, Kenya, Boston, London, Great Wall of China, the French Alps, the Red Sea, Hawaii, and the Yellowstone National Park. Okay, now read through it on your own and then try to match the vacation type with the perfect place. And we're going to go through the answers when you're back. So, yes. Okay, welcome back. Now let's take a look at the first one. So it says skiing and winter sports. And the perfect place to do that, the correct answer would be the French Alps. It's the perfect, most wonderful place to have this type of vacation. Moving on to number 2, diving and water sports. And the correct answer is the Red Sea. Okay, who would have thought that? Now moving on to the third one, sightseeing and cultural visits. And Boston has a lot of those. So the correct answer is Boston. And if you're looking for the perfect beach vacation, this one was a pretty obvious one. Hawaii is the answer. Okay, going on. If you like the ocean cruise, you can get a clue in the title of this chapter, A Caribbean Cruise. So the answer is the Caribbean. Okay, if you're looking for a safari, the correct answer would be Kenya, which makes sense because Kenya is in Africa and Africa is associated with safaris. So if you're looking for historical tours, the Great Wall of China, a lot of history there into how the wall was built and so it's the perfect match. Moving on, walking and hiking. As I said, fitness fanatics, and the best place to do this, according to our slides, is the Yellowstone National Park. And your weekend city break. And the last answer is London. Okay, so check your answers, correct them, and let us move on. Looking on to part B, which is reading. And we are prompted to read a magazine advertisement. So read through the magazine advertisement, and it's about an ocean cruise holiday. So going on holiday. Now, we are then told to answer questions that follow. So the first question we have is, would you be interested in going on a cruise like this? So you're going to pick a random magazine cruise article, read through it, and then decide, would you like going through it? Why or why not? So dependent on the type of person you are, you might love this kind of thing, or you might not be totally for it because you might get seasick and so. And those type of people tend to avoid these cruises. Even though there are medications, some people are just a little bit more scared than others. And if you aren't, then this is perfect for you. Now, I'm going to answer this question personally. Would I be interested in going onto a sea cruise? I definitely would be. It looks exciting. Um, but I am really terrified of being seasick, and it's an experience where I haven't been on any sea cruise where I couldn't see the land, and that's something that terrifies me. So that might be the drawback, or something that might hold me back from doing this. Okay, so moving on to our next slide, and if you take a look here, it is C, and we are asked to read. So we're going to be doing some reading here. And the title is Crystal Cruises Luxury Every Day. So it's an advertisement basically about a cruise. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I'm going to read this first, and you can read with me. Afterwards, you're going to pause and read through it as many times as you want. Remember, the main thing is that you gather understanding from this, because there are going to be questions on the next slide, and I want you to be able to answer them correctly. Okay, so the best way to do that is reread. Now, I'm going to start. So, let's go. Come and sail on a Crystal Cruise ship. We have 3 ships: the Crystal Queen, the Crystal Princess, and the Crystal Palace. So luxury cruises. Come and sail in luxury on cruises around the Caribbean Sea for 7 to 14 days. So you have options. If you don't want to go for too long, you can go for 7 days. If you do want to go for a bit longer, have that little bit better holiday, go for the 14 days. Our 7-day cruise costs $2,000, and our 2-week cruise costs $3,500. So if you choose the 2-week option, there's a discount of $500, and you're getting a much longer holiday. Now, if I wasn't scared of not seeing land, I would definitely pick this option. And another thing is budget. If you have the money, you can pick the second option, provided that it's what you like. Okay, a typical 1-week cruise. So it's going to go now and to break down into what you're going to be doing on each day. So you have a good idea. Day 1, a departure from Miami. So if you like hot sand, lovely beaches, Miami. Day 2, a free day in Nassau, the Bahamas. Okay, that also sounds quite relaxing. Moving on to day 3, near Haiti. So it's going to a lot of different places you can see here. Day 4, visit Puerto Rico and Antigua. So 2 places in 1 day. Moving on to day 5, a free day in Barbados, and a lot of people go here to relax. So this cruise sounds really, really, really interesting and a lot of fun. Day 6, a free day in the port of Spain, Trinidad. Oh, another interesting country, a lot of history and culture around here. Day 7, travel to Caracas, Venezuela, another interesting place. A lot of people go here, especially because of its affordable holidays. And day 8, fly home. So after your 7 days, you're going to fly home. You're going to end up in a different destination, probably a little bit far from home. All foods and drinks are included in the price of your cruise, except for alcoholic drinks. So if you do not drink, everything is paid for. Our cruise ships all have casinos. If you're into gambling, this is good for you. A cinema, so you can watch a lot of films and be entertained. A 5-star restaurant, so you're definitely getting good food. A theater, so if you're into plays. A library for those bookworms like me. I would really love this on a type of cruise. And fully equipped gymnasium, so you're going to be exercising and keeping fit and eating delicious food. If you prefer to go on a cruise to another part of the world, we also organize cruises in the Baltic Sea and the Mediterranean. So there's options. If this cruise is not for you, they have other options. Our ship carry over 2,000 passengers, and we have nearly 600 crew members. So yes, this is basically like 1/4. So for every 4 people, there's 1 person to take care of you. So come on board today for the holiday of a lifetime, and it gives you a number that you can call. Okay, so pause the video, read through it on your own as many times as you want, because there's going to be questions on the next slide. And once you're done, we're moving on. Okay, let's take a look at the next slide. So we have true and false questions. It's D exercise, and the first one says your cruise starts in Bahamas. So if you have no idea of whether this is true and false, simply go to the next page and it gives you information. So day 1 is the departure from Miami. Miami, Bahamas, 2 different places. This answer you would already know. Okay, so now I'm going to just read through the rest and give you a chance to answer them, and then I'm going to give you the answers. Okay, so number 2, you have a free day in Antigua. True or false? Number 3, you can go on a cruise for 2 weeks. Number 4, there are 3 different types of ships in the Crystal Cruises Company. Number 5, there is a cinema on board each ship. Number 6, the cruise finishes in a different country. Number 7, you can keep fit while you're on board the cruise ship. Number 8, the company only does cruises in the Caribbean. Okay, pause the video, read through it on your own, and then I want you to answer the questions, and I'm going to give you the answers for the rest of them, and we will continue once you're done. Okay, welcome back. I take it that you've answered all the questions, and now I'm going to give you the answers. So I've already given you the answer for number 1. It doesn't start in the Bahamas. So this one is false. Number 2, you have a free day in Antigua. So if you take a look here, it gives you a little bit more information, and there's it over here, day 4. Visits Puerto Rico and Antigua. So you don't have a free whole day in Antigua. You're basically going to be in 2 places. So this one is also false. If you take a look at number 3, you can go on a cruise for 2 weeks. If you remember, they gave us 2 options, 1 week and 2 weeks at different prices, so this is true. There are 3 different ships in the Crystal Cruises Company. Yes, that is true. Take a look here. The Crystal Queen, the Crystal Princess, and the Crystal Palace. Okay, moving on. There's a cinema on board each ship. Yes, if you remember, they mentioned over here a cinema. So they do have that. That is true. Moving on to number 6, the cruise finishes in a different country. So if you look back over here, fly home. The fact that you're going to be flying and going through all these places, yes, the cruise finishes in a different country. Number 7, you can keep fit while you are on board the cruise ship. If you turn back here, it tells you a little bit more about a fully equipped gymnasium, and then you know the answer is true. Number 8, the company only does cruises in the Caribbean. Now, if you remember, they told us if you want to go on another cruise, they organize it in the Baltic Sea and Mediterranean. So that one is false. Okay, check your answers and correct the ones that you got wrong. And with that, we've reached the end of this chapter. Another great chapter with you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in chapter 5. So goodbye for now. Take care.